step on the throats of these Marlies. They've caught it. Let's get a lead. There it is! Right on cue! Gawryletz up top, and it's 3-2 Lake Erie.
Well, joined now here on LakeErieMonsters.com by defenseman Travis Gawryletz, who played 51 games last season with the Monsters. Travis, you're out west there. You're from Trail, BC, but you've moved, a province east now for the summer, correct?
Yeah, I headed out to Calgary for the summer to focus on training and get ready for next season.
That's awesome. Well, we really appreciate you taking a little time here for our two-part series with some of the guys we know are signed and coming back to the Monsters this season, at least to start the season. And I want to start there, Trav. Tell me what it feels like for you to have a signed deal in place, knowing you got a place to play in the American Hockey League this season.
Oh, it was. It was huge for me at the end of the year to kind of get that done. I wasn't really expecting it, but it's a big weight lifted off my shoulders going into the summer. I can really just focus on training instead of trying to find a place to play and get tryouts and stuff like that.
Right, and of course, you and anybody else that's in this league, there's always that chance and that hope of getting to the show. So this is one step after having spent 2 seasons in the East Coast League, right?
Yeah, I was there for a year and a bit, and I'm making progress right now, moving up a level, and that's all I can ask for right now. So making steps in the right direction, and I just look forward to the next season. That's
great. Let's look back a little bit at last season, kind of a two-parter here. I mentioned you had 51 games played here with Lake Erie, couple of goals, 10 helpers, 35 penalty minutes. First, what did you take away from the experience and all the things that went with being a member of the team here? And secondly, individually, what do you look back on and reflect on in a positive light?
Oh, I think, the experience was great, finally getting a chance to play at that level. I felt, that I could compete at that level, and, the game was a lot faster, and, players were a lot more intelligent, I felt, playing at the higher level. So those are things that I kind of had to adapt to over the course of the year. And then personally, I think I think my game progressed when I got there to Cleveland. I think the coaches really helped out in practice, working on little things, and I was able to take a lot of positives from what other players on the ice were doing who had a lot of experience, NHL experience and stuff like that. So I think those are some of the big positives that I could take out of last season.
That's great. You mentioned the coaches, some of the guys. Maybe wanted to get a feel on maybe who made the biggest impact on you as a teammate, and what'd you take away from whoever that might be, or maybe it's a couple of guys.
Well, I think for the majority of the time I ended up playing with Brett Skinner, and I don't know what it was, but I think we just really gelled well together out there and played well. So I don't know whether it was just kind of feeding off him or what exactly it was, but I can't really single out too many other guys. I would just try and pick up little things here and there in practice or in games that guys would do to try and better my game.
Very good. Travis Gawryletz joining us here, part one of our summer interview series here on LakeErieMonsters.com for a couple of more minutes here in this first part of it. Words that come to mind, Travis, having watched you played for all those games and being around the club last year: drive, work ethic, willingness to do whatever it takes. I would figure more of the same, and probably you're hoping even more of the same this coming season, correct?
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm definitely gonna be a role player. With the team, if I end up sticking it out, and I'm more than willing to do that, and I think that's part of my game that I have to improve. Being a physical presence back there on the blue line and things like that. So I'm looking forward to elevating my play, to further help the team win.
And you touched on it a little bit. It was something I was going to ask you about, having the year and a half, as you mentioned, at one level down from the American League and the East Coast League. The difference in the game and how you feel you handle that transition, and how you feel those things may work towards helping you here in year number 2 with Lake Erie.
Well, I think I handled the transition pretty well. Like I was saying, there's a big difference in speed and the way players think. Everyone's kind of in position and stuff like that. So I think last year I was able to learn a lot about that, and hopefully in this next season I'll be able to bring a little bit of experience into my game as well. That's
great. Well, there's part one of our two-part summer interview series with defenseman Travis Gawryletz, signed, sealed, and delivered here with the Monsters. He'll go to training camp with the Avalanche. We'll talk about that in part 2. Travis, thanks for the time here. We'll catch up for part 2 and a little bit down the road.
You bet.